The film in which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy in which befell a lone cave diver in Florida. In the late 2000s, Ben McDaniel was having what most would call the worst time of his life. His construction business had just tanked, he was getting a divorce, he owed the IRS over $50,000, and to top it all off, his younger brother just had a stroke and passed away not long ago. In 2010 though, Ben's parents would help him get a fresh new start by letting him live in their guest house in Florida. And always having a love for the ocean and diving in general, this is where Ben would try something adventurous and new and become a cave diving instructor. Though he might have seemed overly eager in this new dangerous adventure, as in the first few months he already logged in over 250 new dives. And on the fateful day of August 18th, 2010, Ben woke up extra early and made his way down to a location known as Vortex Spring Cave, located in Ponce de Leon, Florida. Ben would then begin the day by doing his everyday check around the cave surface, which would then be followed by a couple exploratory dives, which would only see him go down and back up a few feet. Though Ben would end up finding himself doing this all day, where he would dive all the way into the mouth of the cave and then all the way back out again. He would end up doing this back and forth until about 7 p.m. and each time he would log exactly how long he would stay down in the cave. Though each time he would be careful enough not to go anywhere near the death gate located right at the entrance of the cave. Though the last time would see him dive at an incredible depth of about 300 feet, and for some reason he wouldn't stop this time. And because there were already 2 employee divers in the vicinity, the gate was open, so he kept swimming. And even though Ben had done this dive multiple times before, he was still by no means a professional diver, and unfortunately for Ben, this would be the last time anyone would see him alive. 3 days later, on August 20th, an employee by the name of Eduardo would notice that Ben's car hadn't moved in over 3 days. And on top of that, Eduardo didn't remember him resurfacing, as he was one of the 2 divers who saw him go into his deep penetration dive. Once they realized this, they all called the Holmes County Police Department, but from there, it was decided that a dive team was going to be needed. So along with Eduardo, a diving team was assembled and they started their search for Ben. Although, after 3 days, they knew that their search would most likely render a dead body. And with his wallet still in the car, with over $700 still in it, they ruled out that it was foul play that killed him. Though only a few hours into the dive, one of the divers would come up with 3 decompression tanks, all of which had Ben's name written on them. And unfortunately, it was the only thing that they were able to come up with to find him in this cave system. About 2 days later, a professional by the name of Ed Swenson would show up, ready to go where everyone else was scared to look. He would make 3 separate trips into the cave, but each time, he would not find Ben. He would even go as far as to declare that Ben was no longer even in the cave. Not satisfied with this verdict though, his parents would then go on to seek the help of the man who originally mapped out the Vortex cave, but him and 16 other divers would also come to the conclusion that they could not find their son. And many, trying to come up with a common sense answer, honestly started to believe that Ben might have just resurfaced and walked away. To many though, this still did not make sense. He had left his dog alone at home, over $700 in his truck. Why would he just walk away? Though even more mysteriously, decomposition tests were taken in the cave and all came up negative. And starting to become even more desperate, his parents would then put up a $10,000 reward for any diver who would come up with his body. That reward would then double and then triple over time. Although, because of Ben's turbulent past and all the money that he still owed to the IRS, many of the divers had concluded that maybe he had staged the entire thing. And the fact that he wasn't a certified diver and had actually snuck into the cave had turned most of the diving community on the internet in an uproar, unfortunately against Ben and his family. And even more tragically, due to the reward that was put on their son's body, a man by the name of Larry Higginbotham would sadly lose his life looking for him. Sadly though, no new leads have been made on this case, and Ben McDaniel still remains missing. What do you think happened? Do you think Ben faked his own death? Or do you think he's still at the bottom of that cave, somewhere waiting to be found? Remember to hit the subscribe and like button, and turn on the notification bells for future content. Goodbye for now.